another person. Woohoo! Thanks, guys, for being here. Really appreciate it. Like I said, we are the Laugh Index Theater, LIT comedy, lit comedy for short. I'm Hetty. I'm the director for Stand Up. Tonight it's the iHeart Stand Up show, so it's all the house comics just doing stand up. They're gonna be so funny. There is a chat box on the side, and sometimes you can like make little jokes in there and be like, haha, that was so funny to a comedian. But also like there's important information that if you guys visit the litcomedy.com website. If you're able to donate to us, we would appreciate it. Again, just like everyone, we're also having a hard time. We had to go online, as you could see. So we're all a little bummed that we can't be together in person. But the show must go on. What an important time to say that. That was so perfect. That's actually why the saying was invented back in the day when there was no computers, because they knew in the future technology would have to help us a lot. So the show must go on. We still practice every Sunday. You'll see the comedians have done such a good job of handling their sets and making them a bajillion times better so you guys can enjoy such a good show. I'm just going to start off with a few things to tell you guys about me because I'm running this. So I just have some privileges, I would say. Fun fact, I got a cat recently. And I love him so hard. I take 8,000 pictures of him a day. He is so cute. I just want to squeeze the living daylights out of him every single day. His name is Morpheus Eagle. And I bestowed that name upon him because he came with the name Eagle, but I was like, that's just not good enough for me. He was like kind of skittish when he first came to my house. I was like, okay, cat, you need to man the fuck up. And I told him that he ran under my bed, and I was like, we're going to call you Morpheus Eagle. We're going to take care of this problem right now. So currently, he is actually sleeping under my desk. So we're working on it. Not under the bed, under my desk right now. So it's pretty great. I like him a lot. I'll say this. I totally get what it's like to be a new mom. Like, I understand any woman on here who's a mommy, I get it. And if you're like, Hetty, that's like kind of controversial and pretty ignorant. Well, I have news for you. You're a bad feminist. That's on you, not me. We're supposed to support each other and lift each other up, okay? I think the real reason I wanted a cat, same reason, of course, any woman has or wants a baby. I wanted more Instagram likes. So you guys can follow me at @PPD_Hetty. There's going to be daily pictures of Morpheus Eagle. He's wonderful. But I've had like a hard time a little bit because it's like a transition for us. I've already started feeling like a failure because he is not taking to my breast. And I'm like, I thought breastfeeding was the most natural, most beautiful thing in the world. And he's not even latching on. So he is losing weight at an alarming rate. I'm pretty nervous, actually. I also kind of feel shitty about myself now that I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, ooh, I do not know who his real father is. Like, this it's gonna be so awkward when he gets older. So I'm just not gonna teach him English so he can't ask me any questions about it. We're not gonna do that. I decided I'm gonna be a cool mom. And in order to do this, I was like, hey, instead of like, in addition to all like the water dishes I leave out, I've started leaving out some vodka soda dishes. Right? Like, I want to teach him responsibility in the house. I want him to drink with me first before he goes out with the alley cats, you know? And I'm not really one to smoke weed, but I have started smoking catnip with Morpheus Eagle. I think this is a really good way for us to bond. So we've been having a really good time. That's what we're going to be doing after this show. So I hope it ends soon. I'm just kidding. What else, guys? You can like LOL or like giggle out loud or something. Or don't do, but just like make some noise. Did you all like panic buy anything before this started? So I feel like I heard like keyboards clicking. We'll take that.
Flour.
Guys, I didn't do that. I didn't panic buy toilet paper or canned goods or water bottles. I was like, I don't get why people don't have a stockpile of toilet paper already. Like, are y'all telling me you don't steal from work on a regular basis? What's the point of being employed if you're not going to do that? I have no idea. Like, I would get up at the end of the day and go to the bathroom with an empty backpack. I came out, it was full. How crazy is that? I I panic bought some things. I panic bought prescription drugs. I don't know if I can hear like keyboards clack. Anyone do that? Go that, or that's the smart thing to do, actually. Yeah. I called my gynecologist and I was like, here's what I'm thinking. Let's do some UTI meds, some yeast infection medication ×4. That is serious. And also throw in some herpes meds too. Like, why not? Like, I'm just saying, I may have been like a little reckless back in my day. So I don't know if it's just been lying dormant in me the whole time. It's gonna like pop out, like, during a pandemic, but I just want to be prepared for any bumps in the road that may lie ahead. Like that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you for that air. Guys, I love having a healthy vagina. As a woman, that is super important to do. Because I'm a woman who's can tell by my nice mess with a devil horn right here. Guys, I like having a healthy vagina. I like it so much that I only actually see my gynecologist now. Like, I haven't seen another doctor in years. Like, I'm at my gynecologist and I'm like, hey, when you're done down there, can you check my eyes? Vision has been blurry for quite some time. Just you could do something about that. Or I'm like, hey, could you whiten my teeth while you're at? Use some of those gels back there, I'm gonna start taking Morpheus Eagle with me too. I just want to get like 2 pussies for the price of 1. I think that's a smart thing for me to do. Guys, like I said, we're online right now, and it's like, it's pretty hard, doing this online. And like, I know how you guys have been spending your time, like, because we're all like in quarantine and everything. I don't know if you guys have been like doing puzzles or cooking. I have actually gone a different route, and I have decided to use my spare time living in a fantasy world. So is anyone doing that? You can like woo or something, or boo. Nice. All right. Yeah, guys, I was like, why would I learn a second language when I could just lie in bed, stare at the ceiling, and pretend like everything's okay in here? So I'm gonna share this like one fantasy I keep going back to. So I guess you could say everything's like back to normal, and I'm back on stage. I feel like very at home, and it's like a sold out crowd, standing room only. And that is, of course, how you know this is a comedian's fantasy. That's what we love. Comedians, you back me up. And who is in the audience? None other than R&B singer Trey Songz. And if you guys don't know who that is, I'm going to assume some people don't. I'm going to give you a little snapshot of this guy. He is probably one of the most sexiest men, that's not a word, in the world. And he's a millionaire, and he has a great voice, and he's just so fun. Like, all of his songs kind of sound like this. Give me a second. They kind of go like, I am so good at sex. Like, that's his thing, okay? And the kicker is that Songz, his stage name, he spells it Songz, okay? This is the man we're dealing with. So he's in my audience, and I make a joke. I was like roasting him. I was like, hey, Mr. Songz, you're so stupid. You can't even spell your name. And I am the director of stand-up, but that's actually not how you roast someone, so don't take my word for it. And he was like, wow, that was amazing. Like, he loved it. After the show, he came up to me and he was like, hey, I just want you to know that you are so different and funny. And as much as I want to make you come again and again and again and again, because I'm very capable, like I imply in every single one of my songs, I just respect you and your craft and your obvious work ethic way too much to only give you one night of intense pleasure. Also, you're very pretty. So guys, I don't know why in my own fantasy, Trey Songz, the sexiest man in the world, doesn't have sex with me, and instead he ends up respecting me. That's my contribution to feminism during this time. So you are welcome, little girls everywhere. I'll tell your daughters I got their back. All right. Guys, like I said, my name's Hetty. I'm director for stand-up here with Lit. I'm so happy you guys are able to join us tonight. These house comics are amazing, but working so hard. They're going to make you laugh. You might pee yourself a little, but we won't know because we're all in the comforts of our own home. So if you do that, no one's going to judge you. So go for it. Guys, your first comedian. I'm so excited to welcome him to the virtual stage. Give it up for EJ! Woo-hoo!
All right. Thank you so much, Hetty. So it seems like everybody's watching a lot of TV these days, a lot of live streaming, a lot of Netflix. But did you know that you can actually live stream church?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's what my parents are doing every day. But Jesus knows, Dad, when you don't stand up for the songs. My dad is actually a reverend. He's been a reverend for about 10 years. And the way he became a reverend was by filling out a form online and paying $20. But he doesn't actually preach. He uses his status as a religious figure to park in handicap spots. So what would Jesus do? He would get a good spot at Trader Joe's. My name is Edmund John. I go by EJ, and I was named after my grandfather. And when I was growing up as a kid, his gravestone was actually in our backyard, which is super weird. He's not even buried there. His body's not back there. But there's a gravestone in my backyard with my name on it. Now, this really messed with some of my friends when I was a kid. Like, I remember playing hide and seek tag one time, and my friends couldn't find me. But they found my gravestone in the backyard, and they freaked out. But I knew one of them was a true friend because he reached down and tagged the stone. He was like, "You're it, man." I was raised in the Midwest. Do we have any Midwesterners in the crowd? I think I did some. Nice. Yeah, we're the polite type. Sometimes overly polite. Like, we're the kind that'll stop on the highway, help you change a flat tire. Then we'll invite you to dinner after that. And for years, you'll be in our mom's prayers. Or buried in our backyard. Depends on the Midwesterner. My mom is over-invested in my dating life. She would like grandkids. And if she had her way, she would be outside of all of my dates in a surveillance van. So she'd have like an earpiece for me. She'd be like secret agent style, feeding me lines. She'd be like, "EJ, don't forget to ask her about her faith." And I'd be like, "Yep, yeah, I will." And she'd be like, "And don't forget to ask her when she wants to have kids." And I'd be like, "Mom, she already told me she doesn't want to have kids." And my mom would say, "Honey, tell her we're not interested." I'm single right now in quarantine, but my last girlfriend was the lunch lady at our office. So you guys remember back in middle school, you'd see the lunch lady and you'd be like, "Damn, she is hot." Maybe that was just me. Well, some guys like girls in fishnets, and I like women in hairnets. I'd try and be like really cute with her. You know, I'd like come up to her in the cafeteria, like cover her eyes. I'd be like, "Guess who?" And she'd say something like, "Por favor, EJ, estoy trabajando." Which I think means, "Please, EJ, you're the cutest." I was raised Catholic. I think there's a few Catholics out there. Do I see them? All right. Yeah, it's a tough road. There's a lot of rules you got to follow. As an adult, you get to pick the rules, but as a kid, you got to follow them all. And I remember getting in trouble one time, and the nun actually had to call home to talk to my mom, which was not good. And she said, "Mrs. Horseman, I don't know how to tell you this, but today, while we were praying, your son was coloring horns on Jesus." Now, my mom's a strict Catholic. She wouldn't have any of that. So she brought me into the backyard. She's like, "EJ, you look at your gravestone. think about what you did. And I did, and never colored again. I realize I look pretty innocent, but I have done a lot of stupid shit. Have you guys ever seen the show Locked Up Abroad?
Oh yeah.
Woo!
I was almost the star of it, and Benedict Cumberbatch could have played me. So I went on this study abroad trip called Semester at Sea, which is also called White Privilege SeaWorld. And I had a choice between going to Spain and living with a family and learning Spanish, but I heard booze cruise. I'm there. 21. I'm in a frat. I've been training for this. So I was in China one day, part of the Semester at Sea, and I was like, you know, I'm going to sneak into the Forbidden City, even though we were getting a tour of it the next day, but I was trying to impress some chicks. Also, drunk American idiots love anything that's forbidden or off limits, especially if it involves trespassing and or amateur parkour. But if you're going to do some dangerous shit like this, you got to have your ride or die with you. And that's my buddy Jason. Everybody's got that friend Jason. You're like, yo, let's go rob a liquor store because I'm a little buzzed. And he's like, yeah. And after that, we can go to a bank. Everyone has a Jason. So first we go to a Chinese liquor store. We don't speak a word of Chinese. We can't read shit. We're looking at a bunch of clear bottles, and we just pick one. We're like, okay, that one works. It was probably Clorox bleach that they used to clean the bathrooms. From the way we had no idea. All we knew was that the liquor was 40% chance that we were going to end up in prison that night. But we bought it, and we chugged it, and that's probably why I don't have coronavirus today. But we find the Forbidden City. We see cop cars, security cameras. We scale the wall. Wasn't super graceful because we were hammered. We climb a tree. We make it to the top of the wall, and we're looking down, and it's total darkness except for the top of this tent. And we're like, all right, ready? 1, 2, 3. And we jump, planning to land on the tent, but actually going straight through it and hitting the ground. We made it. We were like, dude, this is awesome. We made it into the Forbidden City. Our clothes were ripped. We were covered in dirt. We're in there like trading poles on the Clorox bleach. And we find this giant hill with a pagoda on top. And we're like, oh, we got to climb up that. And we figured out later it was called the Mountain of Accumulated Excellence, which is exactly how we felt, but was the furthest thing from what we were. We were really digging ourselves into a hole of being arrested. So we were up at the top, and I'm like holding myself up on one of the columns, taking a giant Seabiscuit piss, and I come down near the gate, and there's red and blue flashing lights, and we're like, oh shit, we gotta go. It could have been a game show at this point. Like the announcer's like, can these blind, drunk, idiot Americans escape the Forbidden City without getting arrested or killed? We're like, oh shit, we gotta go. So we sprint down the mountain, and we like slowly make our way over this fence because we're still hammered on the bleach, and we make it back to the hotel. And we're like, damn, we were so close to becoming the next Otto, whatever his name was, that almost got caught in North Korea. The next day, all the white privileged kids from SeaWorld are going to the tour of the Forbidden City, and we're all smug like, yeah, we already did that shit. It was so cool. And our tour guide was like, okay, over there you'll see the Forbidden City. And we're like, what? We don't remember climbing a 30-foot stone wall and crossing a moat. We just like climbed up a tree and jumped over a fence. And the guide says, we have it there with no trees to stop degenerates and thieves. And I swear to God, he looked right at me like to keep them out of the Forbidden City. And we realized we were actually just across the street in the gardens of the Forbidden City called the Imperial Garden. which I swear is a Chinese restaurant in Brooklyn that serves Jews on Christmas Eve. Anyway, thank you very much. Turning it back to Hattie.
Woo! Yes, give it up for EJ. Woo! Applause in the chat box too if you want to keep yourself on silent. Awesome. Thanks so much, EJ. Guys, we're going to keep the show rolling. Your next comedian, she's super hilarious. Please give it up for Tiffany.
Woo! Hello. Oh, super hilarious. You're making me feel too much pressure. Oh my gosh. So everyone's, is that my echo?
Yeah.
Okay, it's too much.
Well, now it's
so, okay. Everyone's so cooped up. And I feel bad because I used to hate my commute. I feel that's my auntie. Look at me. Hi, auntie. But anyway, I used to hate my commute. I used to hate getting up in the morning. I used to hate driving to the metro. I used to hate the train ride. I used to hate meeting the homeless people, walking through the giant cloud of weed smoke at Chinatown every day. Well, maybe not hate. Hate is the wrong word for that. Tolerate? No, tolerate's the wrong word. Enjoy. I used to enjoy the giant cloud of weed smoke I'd walk through every day to get to work at Chinatown. But now being stuck at home every day, it makes me realize that going through that every day was kind of a little blessing, you know? And it made me go back to actually the job interview that I went through, you know, to get the job that I have. And it was back during a time that wasn't the best moment of my life. Let me take you back. Picture it. Picture it. Washington, D.C., 2015. I wasn't in the best place of my life. I didn't have a job. I just got out of grad school. I went to grad school. I wasn't making the right decisions, is what I'm saying. So I had to borrow everything I had, you know. So I borrowed a fancy suit from my mom. I borrowed my mom's car. She was driving a Beamer at the time. She obviously made much better decisions than me. So I drove downtown to Chinatown, where I eventually got the job. And of course, it's Chinatown, so the place is full of bums. I mean, I'm sorry, homeless Americans. And he looks at me in this really fancy suit, driving this really fancy car, and he shakes his cup at me. And I'm like, what? And he's like, come on. And he looks at my car, and he looks at my suit. And I'm like, hey, don't get any ideas, man. This ain't my suit. This ain't my car. He's like, yeah, I feel you. This ain't my cup. So I go upstairs, and he's like, look, I'm going on a job interview. I ain't got no money. He's like, look, don't worry about it. You're going to go upstairs. You're going to try your hardest. You're going to get that job. You're going to come back, and you're going to give me that $1. And I said, you know what? I'll take your advice, Mr. Homeless Man. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to get that job. And I got that job. Woo. And he's still there. And every day I give him that. Well, not every day. Every time I have some change on me, I give him that. Well, no, not every time I have some change. Well, at least I take that extra step, you know, to go around him on the corner so I don't have to give him that $1. So there was a time I lived in, my family's from DC, hi family. They lived in DC. They're from DC. And then we moved to Maryland. Then for a minute, I moved to Virginia. So, from the 202 to the 301 to the 703, because I wanted my credit score and my area code to match. Anyway, Virginia is a weird sort of place. They hide their liquor, and you wonder why Virginians are so angry. You hide your liquor and you have open carry. You wonder why it's so violent over there. No, in Maryland, we keep it straightforward. We literally just have the liquor store, the liquor store. In Virginia, they have the ABC store. I think it means alcohol bereft of convenience because they hide them in the creepiest corner of the strip mall. It's like unlighted. There's no advertisement. You gotta find it. And if you don't know where it is, then the hell with you. You're not getting drunk tonight. And they're not open on Sunday. It's the weirdest thing. In Maryland, we gives no fucks, sorry, Mom, about where our liquor is. You can, their disguise is everything. You want to buy a wig and a bottle of Grand Marnier at the same time, Maryland's got you. That's where it is. Okay? So I'm not going to be on very long. But since everybody's got a case of the COVID doldrums, I'm going to take me a drink, and then I'm going to sing y'all a little song. Woo! Okay. So, I wonder if y'all remember a little ditty from the 80s by a happy trio quadruple O called REM. So, if you want to join me in this, no, don't join me in this. This is my time to shine. This is my time to shine. Everybody shut up and listen. Okay? Here we go. That's great. It started with an orange flake, bats and masks, and Twitter rage. Dr. Fauci touched his face. I'm trying to telework. Listen to your boss. Learn how to use a network. Mute your mic. We can hear your echo. R-ring pants. Yes, no. Oh, grab your mask and grab your gloves. Line up at the Costco. Don't stand too close. Vibe on the TV. Hurry up and grab that roll. Zoom bomb meetings. Did you get your Trump check? Did you see the Tiger King unemployment rage? Grocery stores out of bread. How we gonna get fed? Don't bite out of bed. Contactless delivery. Kelly McEnany. Daily press briefings. President is streaking about bleach drinking. UV light, right? Very light of Canada. Things aren't fine, so I drink wine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I'm at home. Thank you. Woo! Thank you. Please wash your hands after handling yourself. I mean, your groceries. Have a nice one. Thank you.
Bimini, thank you so much. That was so great. I bet you guys didn't expect to have a musical stand-up, so you're welcome for that. Super awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. That was amazing. Guys, we will keep the show rolling. Your next comedian, super hilarious as well. I think he was making some dick jokes before this too. He is very funny. Give it up for Evie. Woo! Evie, are you there?
Evie,
where'd you go?
Evie froze in a time warp.
He is in a time warp.
I think he's froze. Oh no.
Oh no. Let me make sure. I'll just give him a little text and tell him no one knows what's happening.
Someone contact Rick Sanchez.
All right. Well, it's okay. This is what is fun with online shows because normally people don't freeze in real life. Let's see. Okay. His computer just restarted for no reason. So we're gonna skip him for now. We're gonna come back to him, of course. Oh, wait. Well, hey guys, we're texting right now. This is the beauty of technology that I can talk to him on this little device, and at the same time, he's getting back on. Let me just see if he is ready. Again, guys, we're so happy you're here. I would like this never happens in our shows because it literally doesn't. But also, like, guys, this is the beauty of online shows. You're gonna get off and be like, guys, I went to this online show and it was like pretty solid for being online because this is such a transition for everyone here. So we're having a good time. All right. I'm going to let's bring up another comedian. Guys, we're gonna come back to you, I promise you, but your next comedian, she is so funny, always kills me every time. Give it up for Diana.
Hey y'all, how's it going tonight? I'm glad everybody could, come and join us in here wherever you are in your house. So a little bit about me. I'm from Silver Spring. I live in DC, but I'm from Silver Spring, right up the road. But my mother is actually from Selma, Alabama. And if you know anything about Selma, you should know that it played a pretty pivotal role in the civil rights movement. There was a whole movie called Selma. And so my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt, they were on that bridge on Bloody Sunday, and they got their ass beat with Martin Luther King and John Lewis. I mean, my family was like way in the back, okay? But they were there. And my grandmother told me one time she met Dr. King, and she was like, when I shook his hand, I felt all this power. And I was like, is that how you felt, Grandma? You don't know this, but allegedly Dr. King was a bit of a philanderer. Okay, now we're getting this info from the FBI, so let's take this with a grain of salt. But for the sake of tonight, we all in the house, we need some entertainment. Let's pretend that it's true. Okay, my only question is, who the fuck was fucking Dr. King? Just Dr. King, but the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. After all these years, we ain't get a tell-all book, we ain't get a documentary, a made for BET movie, me and Martin, my life as a side chick, nothing. It's like they came together and decided we gonna do it, but we are not gonna put it out in the streets. We are not gonna ruin the name of Dr. King. They chose the advancement of the race above the coinage and the come up. Can you imagine? Picture it. Birmingham, 1963. Okay, the coalition of Dr. King's side chick meeting will now come to order. All right, everyone is here. We're going to review the minutes. Do we approve the minutes? Okay, yes. Do we have any new business? Yes, Sister Shirley. I just want to report that Dr. King and his wife had another baby. I suggest we send some flowers and say it's from the women of the movement. Because listen, you can't tell me those women were not petty. They may not have spilled the tea, but every side chick got a little bit of petty in her, right? Probably in church Look at Coretta. She thinks she all you don't even be talking, speaking to nobody. That's okay. That's why Martin told him he was locked up last night. He was locked up all right, locked between these legs. Girl. Yeah, I do believe. And I imagine what if one of them was about to break and she was like, I'm about to sell these photos to Life magazine. They were like, don't we do it, Sister Bertha? We will take a collection before we let you put the name of Dr. King. Right? Just think about it. When we can go outside, you will be standing in a Starbucks or a Target or something, you will stand next to an old black lady and she might have fucked Dr. King. You don't know. Now every time you go out, you'll be looking, you're going to be thinking about it. And I have so much respect for the old school side chicks because I may or may not have been a side chick at one point in my life. And if somebody approached me and was like, we're doing a tell-all book on chicks who slept with dudes named Marcus, would you like to join? I'd be like, oh, yes. And I don't even need no money, just unlimited wings and tacos. I'd be like, yes. Let me show you text messages he has sent me, telling me he loves me, and these pictures we have. But then look on Facebook when his wife tagged him and saying that he everything. Please put in my contract that I want carne asada tacos and my wings fried hard. Thank you. But this is serious, you guys. I don't know if y'all know this, but Dr. King was stabbed. In 1955, a Black woman stabbed him in the chest with a letter opener and he almost died. And I learned this when I was young and I was like so distraught when I read it. And I was like, Mama, like, why would a Black woman stab Dr. King? This doesn't make sense. And my mom was like, I don't know, girl. But now that I'm grown, I'm like, who was the meeting? Like she went up on Dr. King and was like, oh, you were supposed to be at my house last night. You said, would you use some Birmingham? And who is this Rosa Parks? And what is see, I'm saying. Could have happened. And so men, like that be a lesson for y'all to be like more careful, because if Dr. King could get stabbed, if you cheating and you get caught, you getting run over. You are getting run over for sure. Okay. But before I go upstairs, to go to bed, I have a serious question for you guys. I want y'all to think about this. Do y'all think Beyonce makes Blue Ivy bring her the remote? To keep her humble, to keep her in check, right? So she doesn't be like, so she's not judged by like Black people, because Black people are very concerned about how famous Black celebrities are raising their kids or aren't raising their kids. Like, y'all remember Will and Jada with Lil Jaden and Willow, and they had them running around looking all crazy in crazy outfits, hair wasn't done, and letting them have feelings and emotions. Black people was like, what? Are they letting their kids have thoughts, ideas, talking shit? Like, oh no, See, they don't forgot where they came from. They got money and they forgot where they came from. I like to imagine that Beyonce has not forgotten where she came from. She's a Black woman. She's from the very Black city of Houston. Her mother's family is from the very Black city of New Orleans. And if there's one thing that like Black mothers and Black children know about their mamas, is when the mamas like to keep them humble. And two, a Black mama will ask you to do something she could do herself, right? Like she will have something in her right hand and ask you to take it out her hand and put it in her left, okay? And you don't talk back. Did you roll your eyes? So I feel like I like to imagine, right? And the Knowles Carter household, yes, it's a palace, and they have chefs and housekeepers, and they have face activation stuff. But I like to imagine there's like one room in the Knowles Carter house that's like stuck in 1988, right? It's like a recliner chair and an old school TV, and Beyonce goes in there with her Popeyes and her ice cold Pepsi, and she'd be like, Blue! And Blue is like playing with her unicorn, whatever. What does my mom want? Like, maybe she's gonna get me a spaceship. She's like, Blue! And Blue Ivy's like running through the house, and she comes and she's like, yes, Mama, yes. And Beyonce goes, Blue, pass me the remote and bring me my Newports. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Woo! Thank you so much, guys. We don't forget to think about different things in life, huh, guys? All right, guys, we are going to keep this show rolling. Well, we think he's back. We hope. Eve, are you here? Is your computer up again? All right. Thank God. Here he is with his cute, adorable glasses. All right, guys, next comedian. You might remember him from about 8.5 minutes ago when he just started talking and disappeared on us. So give a warm welcome back to Evie. Woo!
I was doing an impression of my dad, who always left a little early when I was growing up.
Oh.
All right. Sorry.
I'm sad.
He's a good man. Sorry. No, he stuck around. No, my computer just randomly crashed at the best time. Isn't that incredible? Timing, like, welcome, Evie. Crashed. I'm on a second computer, though. We always keep a backup computer. Burner phones, burner laptops, always handy during it. No, but thank you guys so much. Truly mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for joining us on a comedy show here. We do love to keep this going, even though we can't be places in person, which we miss. For those of you that I've never met before, my name is Evie Demi, as you guys can hopefully read it there on the bottom of my screen. I do recognize it creates some confusion amongst people. Like I think people like see and read my name and they're like, all right, this guy is clearly a foreigner, you know, probably dealt with his fair share of prejudice and hate crimes in his life. But then they see me talking and they're like, all right, this guy looks like he might commit hate crimes. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm confused. I was originally actually born outside the States. So my family's from Albania. That's where I'm from. There's no reason you guys should know where that is. And as Americans, I'm confident nobody here knows where that is. It's totally okay. It's in the Balkans and Eastern Europe, if you guys are aware of that region. I think the most famous person who's of Albanian descent that you guys have probably heard of is Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was actually Albanian. To show you guys what it's like growing up in the Balkans, Mother Teresa loved that part of the world so much that as soon as she could, she moved to a rural, impoverished, disease-ridden village in India, and she said, "This is totally fine. This is great. I'm not coming back." And so she never did. I will say that my least favorite part about the quarantine situation has been my quarantine look. It's like my hair has been growing out. It's a little bit frazzled. So I've had to wear hats a lot. But I'm not really a hat person. I don't like the way I look in hats. Like I sort of look like a Midwestern fraternity brother who gets caught in like some grainy cell phone footage using the N-word at a party. It's not my favorite kind of look. I sort of look like, I would say, like the captain of the varsity date rape team. Something like that. I think that's probably close. I look like my blood type is probably Monster Energy. Feel like that. Last one, I look like Limp Bizkit's younger brother, Limp Croissant. That's probably my look. I'm just gonna lose it though. I can't do it. I'm gonna stay frazzle haired. I would say my goal for like the quarantine is to slowly just grow out my beard and start looking like Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. That's like my goal. That's what I'm trying to shoot for. I'm already like sort of there. Like I've got the beard, obviously. I give pretty good sage advice to my friends. I've got an asshole friend from Boston who's too smart for his own good. I just really need the dead wife. That's the last piece. I'm not saying that I want to get married and kill my wife. I'm just saying it would really help what I'm going for if she just died first. That would really. I will say one thing I've been sort of happy to see during this time is just people in the food service industry getting like respect. You know, a lot of the people who are delivering our food and making our food are now heroes to us, which is great. Which I think goes against like Americans' nature, because like if you ask most Americans, like top 2 favorite things to do in the world are like not making cakes for gay people and turning food back to the kitchen. Like that, 1 or 2, but like those 2 things are like across the board. Americans are just head over heels about. So it's I always think about like I love the fact that we're treating delivery people very well now. But like, how quickly after this ends are people just gonna go back to treating them like shit? Like, is it a guy puts in a pizza order, is like, I'll take a hero pizza made by heroes, delivered by heroes, thank you heroes. And then mid-delivery, the quarantine is lifted and the pizza gets to him. He's like, you're 5 minutes late. I'm not paying for this asshole. Uppercuts them off the balcony, basically. Get a real job, douche. You know, I feel like the transition is gonna be like that quick. So. But we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I have been sort of like I laugh a little bit at like restaurants. A lot of restaurants make commercials like, "Hey, during this time, we're all in this together, guys. Like we're family." It's like TGI Fridays. Like you're not my family. Like my family wouldn't give me diarrhea the way you guys do. At least like, they wouldn't make me pay for it. So it's kind of weird. Like, it's a little over the top. I get it. Like yeah, we're doing this together, but it's a little too much. I think one thing that I've been missing more than anything is just the experience of like getting coffee in the mornings, going to a coffee shop, getting coffee, not staying like in the coffee shop. I don't like what coffee shops have become. I'll say like with everybody just sort of like spending the day there working and like writing their novels or whatever, Coffee shops have sort of become like the Westminster dog show of people. It's a lot of folks just trying to impress everybody. Everybody, there's like a lot of weird, unnecessary pomp and circumstance. And everyone in there is just trying to hold in a poop, really. That's all. I think the issue is that the entry fee is so low. Like, that's a problem. Like, there's no other place on the planet where you can pay like $5 and you can just sort of chill out for 9 to 10 hours using their electricity. Like, that's absolutely insane. That's borderline crack den behavior. Like, at that point, just start laying out mattresses. People be blowing each other for iced Americanos in no time. So, with it at that point. I don't know if you guys remember this. Prior to this quarantine about a year ago, Capital One cafes were becoming a thing. Like, Capital One was turning all their bank branches into cafes, as if that's suddenly, like, oh, we're nice, good, wholesome people. We're serving you coffee as we're screwing you over. But there's nothing more American, in my opinion, than a place where you can get a latte and a predatory home loan at the same time. That screams America to me. Like, and obviously I want room for cream, you monsters. I'll say sort of like coffee shops to me are also like full of liars. Like, obviously everybody's pretending to work in there. And I've had some like weird interactions in coffee shops. Like, I remember like about a year ago, there was a woman in front of me wearing that like that baby front pouch thing. I know it's got a name, but to me it's the front pouch. Like, she's got her baby in the front pouch. And she's ordering coffee in front of me. Also, actually, if I could say as a quick aside, that front pouch, like, for parents, that's not a get out of jail free card. Like, you can't just do whatever you want with your baby and they're safe. Like, speeding on his bike, like, just rocketing down a hill with the baby strapped in. And all I could think about is that is the worst airbag system I've ever seen. But then again, I guess people just do what they want. But back to the woman at the coffee shop. She was checking out, and the cashier said to her, oh, what? That's adorable baby. What's the baby's name? And she says, the baby's name is Josh. And the cashier says, that is the most beautiful name I've ever heard. And I don't know if there's any Joshes on here, but even you guys are like, that's not true. That's full of crap. Which I can only think about, like, either this woman was born on some sort of cult compound where every man was named Josh, and she was like assigned her own Josh at birth. Who died in a shootout with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, or she's trying to milk her for a tip. I don't know, one of the two, but it was just a weird interaction overall. I will also say here that one thing that a lot of my male friends have been missing during this time is just a woman's touch. For me, I have mostly been missing a woman's passive aggression. That's I just need a woman to break me down slowly over time. That's what I've been missing. Which is why I've been just strictly going to the self-checkout at grocery stores. Because if you want to talk to a woman that's had enough of my shit, like, just talk to the computer lady on those self-checkouts. Like, there's nothing but sass and everything she says. Like, did you just put a bag in the bagging area? I'm sorry. Did you just scan something? Could you put that back? At this point, like, just make it real. Just like have her say things that a woman would actually say to me. Like, why don't we go out anymore? Like, alcohol again? You're just like your father. Like, just have her be real to me. I need it. I'll also say, like, even just prior to this, like, I was the kind of person who would like actively avoid sex. Like, I wasn't about getting laid. Like, if it's inconvenient to me, like if a woman is like in the suburbs or she's got a lot of roommates or she's in a wheelchair, I'm just gonna avoid, every situation. Like, I've actively left a first date before because I just wanted to go home, poop, and watch Cake Boss, which are two things I'd rather do alone. But it's weird. Like, honestly, I think you get to the point in your life where you're over, like, you're just done with dating when you realize that you would turn down guaranteed sex for just like really good leftovers in your fridge. Like, I'd love to come home with you, man, but there's a lasagna at home that could do things to me no woman ever can. I'll end with this. I'll say, like, I think that, like, my whole expectations of sex sort of stem from just how I lost my virginity. Like, the first time I lost my virginity, the first time. It was with a woman that had been with other people, and I knew this, but I was trying to pretend like I was like cool. but she could like sort of tell throughout the night that I was like way too nervous. And at a certain point, she's like, "You've had sex before, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, totes," which should have been her first sign that this guy had never been inside a woman. Well, could I have said a more virgin thing at that time? There's like, "Yeppers peppers, I've had sex. Billy D, please take my virginity." I think that's a great place to leave you guys. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us. I will send it off to Hetty. Appreciate the time.
Woo! Thank you so much, guys. Evie. Woo! Evie, how was the second time you lost your virginity? I'm really curious about that set. So
Worse than the first.
I'm sure it was great. Guys, that's amazing. Your next comedian, super funny guy. Very excited to have him. He's actually a returning house comic. So please, guys, give it up for Ed. Woo!
Thank you. I've been watching a lot of television during this quarantine. Who am I kidding? I've always watched a lot of television. Television is my jam. I love TV. Now, do the cool kids still call it TV? Because I remember my mother embarrassing me. We went to somebody's home and they had this expensive state-of-the-art stereo system, and she said, "My, what a lovely Victrola." Victrola, Mom? Victrolas were one of those, record players with the big horn on it, "If I could be with you tonight, if I could be with you tonight." I want to be a little bit more ahead of the curve than that. Now, like I said, I love TV, and Saturday mornings, my parents would go grocery shopping, and they'd leave me with my black and white babysitters. No, not a racial thing. It was black and white television color, okay? Train up, people, okay? So anyway, my babysitters were the Three Stooges, Curly, Larry, and Moe, and sometimes Shemp, Popeye and Olive Oil, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. I love those guys. Now, you got to remember, back then, people had like 3, 4, maybe 5 channels, and one of them was PBS. Now, hey, I am not knocking PBS. I was a cameraman for PBS for 37 years. They put a roof over my head, food on my table, educated my daughters, and got them out of the house. But, when you were choosing a program then, and it was between the hard times and lives of the Skeffingtons of Canterbury, coming up next on Masterpiece Theater, or the zany antics of those madcap mountain folk millionaires, the Clampetts, interacting with the nouveau riche of Southern California, the Beverly Hillbillies. You're always going to pick the Clampetts over, Masterpiece Theater, especially because of Ellie Mae Clampett, okay? Now, when I was growing up and getting in touch with my sexuality, literally, I got my first boners watching TV, okay? All right, there was the aforementioned Ellie Mae Clampett, and then Ginger and Marianne from Gilligan's Island, PB's Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie, and a host of others. They kind of made me feel funny in my bathing suit area, okay? Now, then I went away to college, and local stations then realized that college students, lots of them, are staying up late to study. Yeah, they were doing like 45 bong hits and, wanting to see something on TV. So the local station would usually use the weatherman and dress him up like a vampire. And he probably had a couple of pops before he went on the air at midnight, and he'd come on and say, "Oh, welcome to Chilla Horror Theater. Tonight we have a really scary one. And it would be these cinematic masterpieces like The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, or Die Zombie Die, or It Came from Hell. And in between the movies, there were your old friends, the Three Stooges, Larry, Curly, and Moe, and sometimes Shem.
Yeah.
And you usually were watching this. Why is it everybody in college had just like this tiny black and white TV that you needed needle nose pliers like to change the channel with? I mean, you know, come on. But now technology is unbelievable. I mean, the TV sets are like 60 inches, 4K, HD, you know, perfect clarity, beautiful color, 8 million channels to watch on cable. And then there's the apps like, you know, EJ mentioned, like Netflix and Disney and Amazon Primo and UbiTube and Hulu Hoop. Is it? I don't know what the names are. I just steal my kids' passwords and I watch the shows. All right. Now, what I still like to watch is the news. The news. The news, people. You know, it's a program where there's usually a very well-dressed man or woman that tells you what happened in the world that day. And when the news is on, they have a lot of pharmaceutical commercials for some reason. I don't know. Like there's this heart pill called Entresto. Now, I thought that was one of the supervillains in the Avengers movie. But I don't know. And then there's Farxiga for type 2 diabetes, and you may lose a little weight too. Side effects that may occur are indigestion, maybe some vomiting, infectious genital warts, itchiness, and dry mouth. Do not take Farxiga if you are allergic to Farxiga. Okay, let's pump the brakes a little here. First of all, how do you know if you're allergic to Farxiga if you've never taken it? And then let's go back a little in the side effects somewhere near dry mouth. You mentioned infectious genital warts. Now look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you what to do. But if it's between type 2 diabetes and infectious genital warts, maybe you should just give up the Oreos and the Pepsis, okay? So you don't have to take Farxiga. Now, what I love like commercials that have a jingle. And the greatest jingle now is when you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. I mean, the harmony is just brilliant. But one of them that I can't stand is Oh, 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 Sonic. I hate that song. I hated it when it was a one-hit wonder in the 70s, okay? But it's one of those songs that, like, sticks in your brain. But luckily, I'm an old guy, and we forget a lot of stuff easily and have a lot of brain farts. Like, the other day, I said to my daughter, I said, honey, who's that actor, you know, that guy I like, who's on that show, that's on that channel? And she just rolls her eyes and said, Dad, just Google it. You know, Googling, who's that guy I like on that show? And even Google says, like, Ed, buddy, come on, you got to give us a little more than that. But what's really weird is that my friends my age, they understand me when I talk like that. Like I said to my friend Charlie, I said, hey, Chuck, who's that actor we like who's on that show that's on that channel? And he said, oh, yeah, I know what you mean. His wife was in that movie where those people are trying to get to that place. Yes. And they both did a commercial together for coffee or beer. Yeah. What's that guy's name? I don't know. Google it. So anyway, it's been great that the government's gotten involved with like public service announcements about the COVID, you know, telling you to wear your mask and wash your hands and keep your social distance. And, you know, the other night I was watching Game 6 of the 1975 World Series. Yeah, I'm really jonesing for sports, okay? And right after that public service announcement, there was a commercial for Peyronie's disease. Peyronie's disease. Okay, what's that? Peyronie's disease, for the uninformed, is when the penis is injured during intercourse, develops scar tissue, and then gets an irregular curve in it. Come again? What? Are you kidding me? What a first world white man's disease, okay? People are dying all over the world because of corona. They're suffering, they're starving. People don't have any money anymore. And some old white guy's worried about his little curly pee-pee and everything. And by the way, it's not a disease, okay? Leukemia, corona, that's a disease. You don't get a bent pee-pee because somebody sneezed too close, all right? It's a condition, all right? One I hope you never have. So anyway, folks, I want you all to stay safe and avoid Peyronie's disease, and especially avoid those infectious genital warts. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Woo! Keep it going for that guy who said the words about the stuff on the box thing you're looking at. Whatever. That was a solid callback, guys. I'm just going to give myself credit for that one. Thank you so much, Ed. That was wonderful. Guys, we're in the home stretch right now. Thank you again for being here. We're so happy to be able to perform in front of an audience. Next comedian, super hilarious woman. Give it up for Simone. Woo!
Thank you. So the quarantine has us all like thinking about weird things, right? Like the other day, I thought it wouldn't be that hard to get me to cheat on my husband. Now, let me make it clear. I'm not actively trying to cheat on my husband. I'm not a terrible person. I'm a yoga teacher after all. Also, no one's pursuing me. So the energy I'm receiving out there in the streets is pretty much like, meh. Okay. If anyone is interested, though, my bar is really, really low. 2 things. Bring me nachos. Tell me I'm pretty. That's all it would take. Seriously, if someone brought me nachos and told me how pretty I am, I would swoon. It would be like a Disney fantasy come to life. Side note, in this fantasy, my hair is fantastic. So full of volume. Honestly, though, these are the exact tactics my husband used to win me over. Our first date was at a Mexican restaurant back in the days when he told me how wonderful I looked every time he saw me. Now, he's seen me so many times. I know I haven't always looked great. He sees me when I hashtag woke up like this, and also when I just woke up. And he's held my hair back while I vomited up Long Island iced teas. I had heard about this drink on Gilmore Girls and decided it would be a great first legal drink, or first 8 legal drinks. No one really knows. But later that evening, while I was scream crying, "Don't look at me!" he told me, "Everybody pukes." Speaking of puking, he cannot feed me nachos every day as much as I want him to. That amount of queso would take so many years off of my life. I should become suspicious if he's ever pushing nachos on me that often. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is that my husband's great. He's definitely better than me. I'm a real white girl. Now, I know you couldn't tell that just by looking at me. But there are moments when I'm acutely aware of just how white I am. Every time someone asks me where I went to college, for example, and I reply, oh, it's a small liberal arts school. You've probably never heard of it. I'm not trying to be a hipster. Have you ever heard of Alma College in Alma, Michigan? I didn't think so. Now, I chose to go to a small school, again, not because I'm a hipster, but for my own safety. I spent an entire summer on Michigan State's campus, and I was lost the whole time. I literally just followed whoever was walking in front of me. And this was when Dr. Nasser was still running around sports physicals to girls. So not a great time to wander off. Being such a white girl, I try to find ways to build up my street cred while not claiming to be woke. Because let's face it, nothing is worse than a white girl talking about Black History Month. So I will casually bring up the fact that I was born in Flint, Michigan, in the very same hospital that discovered the water was poisoning the kids. You know, the one that had doctors saying, like, weird, all these babies have lead in their blood, but babies don't eat pencils. They don't have teeth. Or I'll drop into conversation that I have experienced poverty and I've received food stamps. But it was under the very controlled circumstances of being in a national service program called AmeriCorps. So just about the whitest way you can experience those things. The other day, I achieved a new level of white girl status. I became a member of the NPR Wine Club.
Woo!
Seen that there. Now, if you didn't know that NPR has a wine club, you just admitted you don't listen to NPR enough. So fuck your tote bags. Get down with red wine. Now, as I said, I'm a really great person and I teach yoga. But I'm not perfect. Some thoughts cross my mind while teaching that I simply cannot say out loud. Like when I cue the pose, downward facing dog, I'll say a nice thing like, press your hips up and back into downward facing dog. When it's a lot easier to tell someone, lift your ass into the same shape. But the cue that really gets me is trying to teach folks how to lift and engage their pelvic floor, because much like Alma College, I'm guessing most of you do not know where the pelvic floor is located. So let me give you a quick pro tip. Try to suck up your taint. You'll sit up 2 inches taller, and congratulations, you just found your pelvic floor. I'm really proud of you. Now, in the days before social distancing, I visited a couple once a week in their home for private yoga. And for some reason, whenever I would tell this to people, they would think I'm teaching them sex stuff. Do I look like I know sex stuff? I was raised Catholic, so my sex education was contraband copies of Cosmo read at the back of the bus. Cosmo was just doing listicles way before BuzzFeed. 1 month it would be 20 ways to drive your man wild. Number 1 was suck his dick, but don't make him talk about it. Next month it was 18 ways to create more intimacy. Number 1 was make eye contact while you suck his dick, but don't say a word. But hey, I guess how many ways can Cosmo just tell us to suck dick and shut up? It must have worked because hot takes like that are how I nabbed my much better of a person than me husband. So, Thanks, Cosmo. Now, back in the days of in-person yoga teaching, I had a student fall out of headstand. They were so embarrassed after class, saying a near injury just must be my worst nightmare. But honestly, that's not even close to what my worst nightmare is while teaching. Mine is, say I'm like demonstrating a pose, and then my body betrays me. A super audible queef. And it happens. Okay? It happens. Now, some people will tell you that the queef is a vaginal fart. No, I take issue. It's more like a burp. All right, let's think about this. So the vagina chugs in the air. It has nowhere to go. It's coming straight back out. Also, vaginas and mouths have lips. So better comparison all around. Now, queefing in class, really a rookie mistake. After you've been teaching for a while, you learn which of the pants act as a shield for you. They kind of hold it in. Really, truly, the reason we all stopped wearing Lululemon is just those pants are terrible queef mufflers. You're welcome for that information. My name's Simone. Thank you so much.
Woo! Thank you, Simone. Hey, Simone, I just got Fabletics leggings. So, like, are those good queef mufflers? I'm just...
They're all right.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'm gonna do some like yoga tomorrow, maybe. And by yoga, not like stretch or something. And like, I'll let you know if I queef or not.
Yeah, hips over the head. That's when it happens.
Okay, I'm probably not going to do that because I'm not really flexible, but I'm glad to know I made a good investment. I do have a membership with Fabletics. I don't know why I did that, but apparently
remember to cancel.
I know, but like it's so comfortable. Anyways, this is getting off topic. Guys, this is our last game for the night. He is super fun again. Thank you so much for being with us. We're really happy you're here. Guys, give it up for Max. Woo!
Woo to me, man. Excited.
There he is.
Yeah. Here I am.
Yeah.
Before we start, I'd like to make sure that like this mic is working. Will everyone named Mike please stand up? This concludes the mic check. They say you are what you eat. In which case, I was not aware I have eaten 13 years of anxiety and disappointment. Apparently, it tastes like the McRib. I deleted my Facebook because I thought it was making me depressed. Turns out I just have depression. And now I don't know when anyone's birthday is. I bought a watch on Amazon. It said I could swim with it. It did not specify that I need to swim without it. 1.5 stars. Turns out that hash brownies are not the plural of hash browns. I made a Waffle House waitress real confused. How does Ariel's clam bra stay on? It is the only strapless bra in history that does not have to be constantly scooched up. Fuck Disney. They set unrealistic standards for women in so many ways you cannot imagine. Frank Ocean and Hot Dog Water are really just the same name if you think about it.
Oh. Uh,
I buy a lot of shit online. Sometimes they make me do a CAPTCHA to prove I'm not a bot. Honestly, if you're buying Groupons for artisanal whiskey tastings at 2 a.m. on Tuesday, I think the bot deserves it. They sound classy. Hang out with them. Is it just me or do CAPTCHAs make everyone feel stoned and paranoid? Are you a 5 or are you an S? Come here, little numbers, and don't hide. I want to read you. I got a Groupon for dress up like a beekeeper and stab people. Printout said fencing lessons, but I knew what I was doing. A mascot is just a furry with a jersey. I have an ex-boyfriend. We broke up because I kept calling him my ex-boyfriend. They say for a job and dates, you should be yourself. No. You're probably unemployed and single because you are yourself. I recommend being someone else. Like someone who's employed. Likeable. They don't tell you a ton of shit about growing up. Like how you're going to spend an inordinate amount of time and energy holding on to cardboard boxes. Because they're like a really good box. You don't find this box all the time, but I'm going to hold on to it through 3 apartments. The other thing they don't tell you about growing up is how many calls you're going to get from robots. When I was 5, I would have thought getting all my calls from robots would have been awesome. Not so much. I have a friend who got her degree in Egyptology. She couldn't find a job. PhD in Egyptology. And I had to sit her down and in a very thoughtful way tell her that she is involved in a pyramid scheme. You never feel more like a fuck up than immediately after using super glue. I like casual sex. It's so much hassle to put on that bow tie. Cars with flame decals are weird. There are no other situations in which being on fire is considered a sign of technical efficiency. I have never seen an electrician on fire and thought, man, that guy can accelerate. Raising a child is way darker if you are a necromancer.
Oh.
cousin is pregnant. She said that she had to get her house baby proofed. I assume this is to keep out all the neighborhood babies. You know what they say about babies? If you see one, there's 1,000 in the walls. She bought a big thing of baby formula, and I had to sit her down and be like, you are already pregnant. You do not need to formulate another baby.
Oh,
Just be cool with what you have. If you had to have sex every day to make a baby, like bang it out every day for 40 weeks. That sounds exhausting. I miss a day to get a baby. Like missing an arm or a personality. I'll just finish it up with this thought. How is it that Willy Wonka enslaving an entire race of people for the sole purpose of making chocolate is not the focus of that movie? Willy Wonka and the forced labor genocide. I'm sure Netflix is working on it. Never forget. That's been my time, and sorry you had to listen to all this.
Oh my god, that was so funny, guys. Keep it going for Max. Woo! Awesome, guys. That was our show. Really appreciate you being here. Again, if you want to hit up the website litcomedy.com, because there's shows nearly every Wednesday for the next few weeks. Actually, there's improv and sketch. We also do. Again, if you're able and willing to donate, we would really appreciate it. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Every little bit helps, so we would love that too. And if you liked what you saw here, just again, check us out because we're still running classes. There's stand-up and sketch 101 classes. Let us know, and we would love to have you back. And again, guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate it because it's hard to not be able to perform in front of you, but you guys coming here and like sitting on the toilet or like your floor or whatever, like we don't care. We're just happy you're here watching us. So thank you for that. Again, I've been Hetty, director of stand-up, and one more time for the house comics, please. They were wonderful. It is not easy to do it online when you don't have the interaction, but they killed it. They're amazing. So I am going to end it there. Again, thanks for the show, or coming to the show, excuse me. And guys, have a great rest of your night.